Welcome back to the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. If you are new here, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify, Apple, or Google, please leave a 5-star rating and review. It supports the podcast and it doesn't cost you anything. I've got a huge announcement here, guys. The Thinking Crypto podcast NFT Collection is here. 102 NFTs minted on the XRP ledger, and they have utility. They unlock special benefits and perks for the NFT holders. 2 are for giveaways and 100 are for sale. So how do you qualify for the giveaway? Well, you have to be subscribed to my Substack newsletter. Link in the description. It's free. You just subscribe and the winners will be selected from the subscription list. And those NFTs, and even the ones that go for sale on Monday, April 17th, unlock the following benefits and perks. 1, you get to book a one-time 30-minute Zoom call with me to talk about anything, crypto, YouTube, digital marketing, and more. You also get access to an exclusive Discord group. You get early access to interviews. So at least one day ahead of time before they're released publicly, you get to access these interviews. And you also get exclusive discounts, perks, access to my partners and sponsors and so forth. So you get the benefits of my relationship with these different folks. So once again, the giveaway will take place on Saturday, April 15th. To qualify, you must be subscribed to the email newsletter on Substack, link in the description. And the sale will take place on Monday, April 17th on the Sologenic marketplace. So here's what it looks like. Once again, links will be in the description, and there's a web page on my website that outlines all of this. The NFTs essentially are AI robot themed with different landscapes, and they're XRP themed for the most part because they're built on the XRP ledger, but they're inspired by different coins. So like there's a HBAR version, a Cardano version, a Flare version, a Quant version, Ethereum, and so on and so forth. So if you'd like to, participate in the giveaway, sign up for the email newsletter. If you'd like to purchase, any of these NFTs, the sale goes live on Monday, once again on the Sologenic marketplace. So if you'd like to learn more about these things, guys, check out the links in the description. Now, let's jump into the crypto news. Let's start with the price. Bitcoin sitting comfortably above $30,000. Right now, it's at $30,349. Ethereum is back over $2,000. So despite all the hypothesis that, hey, Ethereum was going to dump with the Shapella upgrade where the ETH that was locked for staking, they were now being released, that people were going to dump it. That has not happened. So we're seeing some nice movements in the market here, guys, some really nice bullish momentum. And if we look at the Bitcoin chart, the one that I've been sharing for about 12 months now, we see Bitcoin is still on path to its retracement. I believe it goes to about 40 to 50K. I'm hoping the latter 50K, right, that I can make more money and cash out some profits. And of course, the alts are going to follow. We're seeing the alts move. So some are calling for new all-time highs. I don't think that's going to happen, but I will happily be wrong there. So the other reason why I'm saying there's a lot of bullish momentum in the air, not only is the price going up, but we're getting major news announcements. And, we're going to talk about the big announcements today with Twitter and Etoro and so forth. But here's some other facts on the charts showing this bullish momentum. Here, Caleb Frenzen, who I just had on the podcast, he said the total crypto market cap is trying to break above this critical resistance range. The EMAs trending higher beautifully. So he has it charted out here with the 21-day EMA, the 55-day EMA, the 200-day EMA. So he says all EMAs are they have a rising slope right now. With this breakout, the entire teal range is now valid support. So looking good. And this is what we're expecting because we've been looking at, Bitcoin moving the same way it did in 2019 after the bear market bottom. So it looks like things are headed in that direction. Of course, it's not a guarantee. This is a probability. So just keep that in mind. Some other statistics, the DXY, the dollar currency index, continues to break down. It continues to move down. So what we've seen historically, when the DXY is going down, asset prices rise. When the DXY is going up, asset prices go down. So it looks like the DXY is breaking some key support level here, and it could get very interesting as things continue to crash here for the DXY, and very bullish for assets, including stocks. And even the NASDAQ is looking like it's going to break out. Here's some other charts from another analyst. And this NASDAQ is kind of following Bitcoin for the most part. And like I said, here's another chart for the DXY, looking like it's going to break down further. So that is bullish, my friends. These are all facts. The data doesn't lie. Now, it's always a question of how high will we go, right? And that is where you need to take profits on the way up, because we don't know when this thing will roll over. If it does go to new all-time highs, great. I will be the first to celebrate. Here's another chart from another analyst showing the altcoin market cap, and kind of the breakout we're seeing there. And the analyst said, pay attention, we just broke the wall. And you can see here in the chart, it's breaking through the resistance. We could have a mini alt season, but we'll see how things play out. Now, here's the big news of the day, my friends. Twitter partners with Etoro to let users trade stocks, crypto, as Musk pushes app into finance. Now, we know Elon's plan is to make Twitter a super app where it has the ability for you to be a social network, but also to conduct payments. And it looks like he wants to involve trading as well. So starting Thursday, Twitter will give users the option to buy and sell stocks and other assets from Etoro, the company told CNBC exclusively. The partnership marks a rare deal for Twitter since Elon Musk took the reins as CEO after buying the platform for $44 billion last year. Musk has made it his mission to turn Twitter into a so-called super app that offers users financial services on top of social media. So let me give you some more details here. Currently, it's possible, or it's already possible, to view real-time trading data from TradingView on index funds like the S&P 500 and shares of some companies such as Tesla. That can be done using Twitter's cash tags feature. You search for a ticker symbol and insert $sign in front of it, after which the app will show you price information from TradingView using an API. With the eToro partnership, Twitter cash tags will be expanded to cover far more instruments and asset classes, an eToro spokesperson told CNBC. You'll also be able to click a button that says View on eToro, which takes you through to eToro's site, and then buy and sell assets on its platform. eToro uses TradingView as its market data partner. Here's a quote from the CEO, Yoni Assia. As we've grown over the past 3 years immensely, we've seen more and more of our users interact on Twitter and educate themselves about the markets. So this is really big, guys. Think about it. The amount of people on Twitter talking about stocks, crypto, and many other things, in addition to the regular social media chatter, a really smart partnership. And it shows Elon's push towards crypto and finance and what he's trying to do. And we know he's bullish on Dogecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum. He holds all three. Tesla and SpaceX both hold Bitcoin on their balance sheets. So what he's trying to do here is going to involve crypto and blockchain in many different ways. And if you all recall, I interviewed Yoni Assia back in 2020. And in fact, I'll be trying to interview him again. If you haven't seen that interview, it's in my playlist here of cryptocurrency exchange CEOs and representatives. As you can see here, Yoni Assia, this wasn't back in 2020. So huge partnership. And folks, look at the timing of the news, right? It's important to look at these things. We saw Elon changing the logo of Twitter to Dogecoin just about a week ago, right? I think he's trying to build up hype for this announcement, and the prices of crypto assets have been going up. So see what's happening? Does this remind you of 2020 and 2021, right? When they had the bullish momentum, Elon's doing his thing, many other companies launching their services. It means that there's a bullish momentum here, and let's see how high the price goes. Once again, look to take profits. I will be taking some profits off the table because I've given some of my reasons before. I don't know what the SEC and the government enforcement agencies are going to do. We see they're on this attack, right? Operation Choke Point. So I'm not saying you have to sell. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just sharing my opinion. It's up to you to make your own decision and come up with your own conclusions. But I'm going to look to take some money off the table and just make sure that if things get a bit rough over, the next year until maybe the next bull market, I'm going to take some money off the table. So here's some other big news, guys. The London Stock Exchange owned clearinghouse to offer Bitcoin index derivative service. It's set to launch separate service via partnership with the FCA regulated trading venue, Global Futures and Options. So this is huge, guys. So the London Stock Exchange group is set to offer digital asset derivatives via a link up with Global Futures and Options GFOX after the UK said it seeks to regulate but not stifle crypto innovation in the region. US representatives, are you listening? Right? The UK is getting it right. Other countries around the world are getting it right. Right now in the US, it's a mess. You got the CFTC saying these assets are commodities, the SEC saying they're securities, and then enforcement actions, right? It's ridiculous. So the link up intends to allow the London Stock Exchange Group owned LCHSA, a company providing clearing services for credit default swaps, fixed incomes, commodities, cash equities, and equity derivatives, to offer clearing on cash-settled Bitcoin index futures and options, the company said Thursday. The clearinghouse is set to unveil a separate clearing service called Digital Asset Clear for cash-settled Bitcoin index derivatives traded on GFOX. Here's a quote. Bitcoin index futures and options are a rapidly growing asset class with increasing interest among institutional market participants looking for access within a regulated environment they are familiar with. Frank Sausen, saying that right, head of LCH Digital Asset Clear, said in a statement. Folks, very bullish. Now, I know some are going to say, hey, this means they can short the hell out of Bitcoin. Well, unfortunately, that's just part of the adoption. We saw here in the United States, the CME group and all these folks, adopted Bitcoin and Ethereum, but it's kind of like a double-edged sword. I get it. The acceptance of this asset class by the TradFi world gives it more adoption, more relevancy, more authority, and just leads to more people coming into the asset class. But in addition, they can short it, and it's going to be, what we've seen. But at the end of the day, it's all market cycles anyway. Are they going to short it where they can? Of course. But can they short it 100% of the time? Of course not. So you keep that in mind, right? I get it. I don't particularly love the idea of this, but I think it's a necessary evil, in my opinion. I'm sure maybe some of you guys may disagree, but that's where I would love to get your thoughts. Now, blast from the past. Limewire. How many of you remember using Limewire? Man, I have a lot of memories using Limewire, downloading music and all that back in the day. Some of these old companies are, trying to make a comeback with crypto and blockchain and Web3. So Limewire will pay you crypto for downloading pirated music. A cute Limewire marketing campaign ahead of its crypto token sale plays on nostalgia for pirated music from the early 2000s. So this is interesting, guys. Limewire, the once popular file sharing app, now rebooted as an NFT marketplace, wants to recreate the early 2000s when pirated music was at its most popular, but with a crypto twist. The platform, resurrected by Austria-based entrepreneurs Paul and Julian Zematar, I butchered their name, in mid-2022, has launched a simulation game that allows players to download nostalgic music considered popular 2 decades ago. LimeWire's game mimics its former life as a Windows XP program. My gosh, Windows XP, complete with rolling greens aesthetic. In order to participate, players will be required to enter their email addresses, which will be used to track scores and send information on potential prize collections after the game. Players can search for music and films from the 2000s and will be allowed to download as many as they can in order to collect points, but download a file with a virus in it and the game will end. Decrypt first reported the news. The game will only be available until May 15th. The top 1,000 players scoring the highest will be rewarded with Limewire's upcoming ERC20 token, LWMR, which can eventually be used to purchase NFTs. Folks, this is the token economy. And whether you don't care for this and you wouldn't play this game, there will be a segment of the population who will. Hell, I might just go try it out just for the nostalgia, right? Just to go relive that aspect of my life again for a little bit. But you know, I know it's like, hey, some of these companies are trying to come back and they're using crypto and Web3 as a gimmick maybe, but some of it is legit, right? That there is an application, there is some use cases here. So it's great to see crypto and blockchain, you know, giving new life, bringing back from the dead some of these companies. Like I said, Limewire, special place in my heart, guys. Now, Uniswap mobile app finally gets green light from Apple App Store. After a month in Apple jail, Uniswap's wallet is now publicly available. So great to see. Apple's been tough. They've been really, really tough against some crypto apps. So it is now available for most users available for users in most countries, including the United States. According to a tweet from Uniswap Labs, Thursday, Uniswap assured will continue to launch in other countries as soon as Apple lets us. So Uniswap, certainly another alternative and a great, brings a great feature to the crypto market. And let me give you guys some more details. In addition to allowing swaps between the Ethereum mainnet, Polygon, Arbitrum, and Optimism, users will also be able to track their NFT collections and purchase crypto with their debit cards through MoonPay, an integration that was rolled out on the exchange last December. Uniswap Labs face a number of challenges in launching on the iOS App Store after first tweeting on March 3rd that Apple wouldn't greenlight the utility. To get around this, it decided to open the test light version of the app to 10,000 users. So good news, guys, and at least good to see Apple's opening up a little bit here to crypto apps because they've been super strict and really tough. Cathie Wood held kind of a little mini conference here with many crypto leaders, and it was titled "Crypto Has Been Thriving Amidst a Regional Banking Crisis and Regulatory Uncertainty." So this is another thing, right? Remember Cathie Wood was doing like Zoom calls, or I should say webinars with Elon Musk and Jack Dorsey in the bull market. This is why I'm saying there's a bullish momentum, a bullish smell in the air, guys. Part of the little webinar she did here included some big names like Jeremy Allaire of Circle, Paul Grewal from Coinbase, who I recently interviewed, Caitlin Long, Michael Sonnenschein of Grayscale, to name a few. And great to see this because Cathie Wood is a heavy hitter. And if she's out there calling for comprehensive regulations and you know, putting out the word out there, and she's going to get more eyeballs than, let's say, my podcast or some of the smaller YouTubers and so forth, right? So her voice carries a lot of weight. She's in the mainstream media a lot. So it's important for these folks who have the influence to do this, and it's very bullish. So you guys can certainly go check out that webinar or podcast here, and it sounds like it's a good discussion. Now, speaking of regulations, high hopes for EU's Mica law with final vote imminent. EU member nations are already jostling to hold the crypto crown as the bloc becomes the first major global jurisdiction to regulate the sector. So once again, other countries and regions moving ahead. I don't know what the hell the United States is doing. We're here dealing with a clown, Gary Gensler, the SEC. So proponents of the European Union's forthcoming markets in crypto assets, also known as Mica, regulation say it will have an effect beyond its limited scope, and the race to seize the bloc's crypto crown has begun even before a final vote on the law. After several years of consultation and lawmaker haggling, a final text of Mica is set to be voted on by the European Parliament later this month. The law would likely then enter into a force in July, with major provisions kicking in between 12 and 18 months later. On paper, Mica sets out to regulate those issuing crypto assets, ensuring white papers of investor information are honest. Providers of linked services like crypto custodians, advisors, or exchanges will have to apply to one of 27 national authorities to get a license to operate across the whole block. So, guys, comprehensive regulations make sense. These exchanges, get your licenses, get your stuff in order, but you can conduct business. We're not killing it. We're not banning it. We're not kicking you out the country. Just get your licenses. I think that's important, right? We want to make sure we don't have an FTX situation, that they're properly licensed, their books and their reserves and everything in their business, everything looks good, right? So they're not scamming users. This is important, guys. So here's a quote: a crypto asset service provider, a CASP, C-A-S-P, will be a brand in the European Union, a kind of stamp of approval of the sector. Rock Zvek, a European Commission staffer who formed part of Mica's drafting team, told a Brussels event on March 30th. Investors will know that if they turn to CASP, they will have all protections that Mica provides. Where is the United States? Wake up, America. Oh my gosh. The UK, the EU, they're getting it right. They're getting it right. This thing is here to stay, and you got clowns like Elizabeth Warren and Gary Gensler trying to fight against it. But what we're seeing, though, the silver lining here, at least, is that states are doing the right thing here for the most part. Even though the federal government's a mess, here we got news that Utah law furthers adoption on-chain credentials and DAO. Two bills signed into law by Utah's governor seek to establish verifiable credentials on-chain as well as afford DAOs similar rights to those of limited liability companies. This is really big, guys. This is really big. We know Texas, Wyoming, Florida as well, and many others have embraced crypto. They're putting out bills. There's even one, I think it was just the other day, Montana, put out the right to mine Bitcoin. And I think Arkansas did the same thing. So states are moving in the right direction and just ignoring the federal government right now. So I think eventually the federal government, the Congress will be forced to act, because if it's happening in kind of a grassroots movement where, the members of the local state and who influence the respective senator or congressman or whoever that sits in those states, it'll bubble its way up where they all can hopefully get on the same page. But I love seeing stuff like this, guys. This is great. So the first bill, HB 7 or 470, requires Utah's Division of Technology Services to launch a pilot program for digitally verifiable credentials on-chain in a bid to prevent the unauthorized altercation of electronic records. As part of the bill, the division will be held responsible for providing recommendations to government entities on implementation while establishing procedures for protecting personal identifying information. The pilot program will be set up so the government can make use of those credentials and report on its progress to the Public Utilities, Energy, and Technology Interim Committee by October. The second bill, HB 357, seeks to establish that DAOs which have yet registered as for-profit or nonprofit entities shall be treated legally as domestic limited liability companies. This is really great. I hope other states adopts things like this, and I think they will. Game theory will play out as all of them try to attract these companies to boost their local economies, create jobs, and things like that. Here, Binance, CZ, CEO of Binance, tweeted out just another way to get Bitcoin exposure because they have introduced a new batch of cloud mining products for Bitcoin. So it's cloud mining, Bitcoin cloud mining, if you want to call it that. The Binance continues to expand. So this is very interesting. And finally, HBAR, or Hedera Foundation, or HBAR Foundation here, they tweeted out, we're excited to announce that Decent Wallets, the leading blockchain wallet in Korea, has fully integrated with the Hedera token service, HTS, to enable developers, institutions, and retail users to interact with the network service safely. And there's been a lot of HBAR adoption news recently. I'm very bullish on this project. I think it's going to be one of the winners. You look at who's part of their governing council: Google, Boeing, IBM, and much more. This is one of those projects, guys. It's kind of like when you're looking for the Amazons, the Googles, the eBays, and PayPals in the early 90s, right? As the internet grew. I think Hedera, HBAR is one of those. It could be an eBay, it could be a Google, right? Just the winners essentially is what I'm trying to say. I think it's there. Now, is that guaranteed? Of course not. I'm not Nostradamus. I can't predict the future, but I look at what the facts are and who's adopting, who's building, what partnerships are they getting, and they have a lot of momentum. So I continue to buy the dip for the HBAR token. That's not financial investment advice. Do your own research. I'm not buying right now because everything is kind of, I don't buy pumps. I'll buy into the pumps. But I did buy, when the market was bottoming, and when Bitcoin and alts roll over again, I'll be buying some more. So that's how I approach it. Buy the lows, sell the highs. And don't FOMO, don't get greedy, take profits. So just saying this out of experience, because I've let bull runs and bull markets pass me by and I didn't do anything. All right, guys, that's the news. Let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Hit the thumbs up button, share this video. And once again, check out the NFT collection information. And if you would like to participate or at least participate in the giveaway, and I'll talk to you all later.